Okay, so in addition to the character having its own attributes, the character also participates in all this other information about the class that it's in. And the class that it's in is really what gives the character its abilities inside the game world. You don't give the character the abilities. The fact that it belongs to a class and those classes can have certain abilities is what gives your character certain abilities. And now you have to understand one more thing, which is the most sophisticated we're going to get with this. And that's that not only does the character inherit abilities, but it only inherits the abilities that it's up for. So a class of characters has a whole range of abilities, some that your character has and some that your character doesn't have. And when your character, for example, gets to a certain level or has a certain amount of health, that's when it's allowed to use these different attributes of the class. So the class is what contains all the possibilities for what your particular character might have. And your character, in addition to having its look that you get to define and say it's got a face like this, it's got hair like this, it also has abilities and aptitudes inside the game that are decided by its class in combination with what sort of level that you've gotten. So your current focus and your level are two things that the World of Warcraft uses in order to determine which of the possible qualities, which of the possible attributes of the class that you're a part of, which of its abilities are you allowed to engage, are you allowed to have, and what will be the impact of engaging those. So your current focus, for example, says how much, let's call it money. How much money do you have to spend? And the cost of using an ability is how much it costs you, how much you have to spend. So instead of using, a currency, they use the word focus here. So this is a very sophisticated concept, and this is about as sophisticated as we're going to get in this class. That you have a character, the character has its own traits because you define those traits. The character also has the possibility of taking on other traits, but only if the character has enough focus, enough health, a high enough level, and that's where the sophistication of a game like World of Warcraft comes in. Not only in automatically on the fly building a character that looks exactly like you want it to look, but in figuring out what that character at any moment in time can do. And now remember, there's one level of sophistication that I won't even really get at, but I want to just touch on, and that's that it's not just you in the World of Warcraft, it's all the other characters in proximity to you. So not only does it matter who you are and what your focus is and your level is and your health is and all that kind of stuff, but it matters what all the characters around you are. And your abilities interact with their abilities. You can imagine that it's really pretty complicated and very complex, and the full information model of all the abilities with all their ways of interacting with other abilities and other characters based on different levels and based on different amounts of health and different amount of focus and all that kind of stuff, that's really, really complicated. Okay, so we're going to back out of that real complication, and I just want to show you how all this information of the character in combination with its class and in combination with the class's abilities, and on, the abilities have more and more model behind them, how all that leads to a particular user interface.